can't speak. New tattoo pic? Yeah, sure, I got you. Let me take a photo. Hey? Vettel, oh my god. Vettel. Vettel was like one of the first people to hear about what happened yesterday. And a lot, like, most of my really close friends I called and I told. And actually, I didn't tell them, I screamed at them. If you missed what I said on Twitter, I essentially just said yesterday was probably the best day in my entire life. As you know, I don't know if you quite know, but I've actually had one of the worst weeks lately due to war and losing family. But at this point, I've already cried it out. I've already did what I had to do, and yeah, I've just decided it's time for me to move on and junk and just keep smiling, keep chugging. And yesterday was a moment in my life where I seriously, firmly believe that
took over the moon.
The universe is quite crazy in ways that it works. You know, after having one of the worst days of my life, it was really nice to have yesterday. In contrast, it really is a dream come true. I'm not pregnant. Let me just preface yet again, I'm not pregnant. I don't have a boyfriend yet either. Have this, okay? Adopted a kid. Nope. So here's a tattoo I got, okay? Here's my tattoo. Yes, it's your finger now. Are you happy? My finger belongs to you. You are forever permanently implanted on my finger for the rest of my life, till this imp grows very, very old and frail. The XDX shall prevail. Ooh! I need to give a little bit of insight before I tell you this story, okay? Don't expect anything too crazy, but I'm just shaking at the thought of it yet again. Oh god, I'm so nervous to talk about it, really. It doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel real at all. And I could cry again. When I told Vettel, by the way, and you know anything about Vettel, he is like super just nonchalant all the time and super like, ugh, whatever. You know, he just whatever, you know. But even he was screaming about it. He was like, what? That's fucking crazy, what? So it must mean that it's semi-really cool. So, you know how I went to the Melanie Martinez concert a few days ago? So I'm sitting front row, right? I'm sitting front row. This is I. Sitting front row. Baby. Sitting front row. This was probably 2 weeks ago, actually. 2 weeks ago. And these two girls walked up. Okay, I will say the drawings are really not great right now, but I'm telling you the budget is going to increase later. I've actually prepared a PowerPoint for you all in an attempt to tell this story way more properly. So these two girls walked up to the front of the Hades tour listening party thingamabobby, okay? And one of them wore a jacket, a really cool black jacket with like rhinestones all over it. And I'm like, OMG! Dude! I heckin' love your jacket! Because look at my pants! And I point down on my pants, and it's the same exact design, right, on my pants. Same design, black with rhinestones on the sides. But the rhinestones were almost identical to the ones on her jacket. Like, they were super, like, Y2K grunge looking. They were so cool. And they looked really cool. If I could tell you how cool these two girls looked, oh my god, there's not enough words to quite describe how amazing they looked. They were like, oh my god, whoa, we are matching. And for some reason, I thought we had the same brand. Turns out we didn't have the same brand. But, you know, we were matching. And she was like, you look so cute in yours. And both of them were just so nice. And I felt so shy because I was like, oh my god, these two very beautiful, cool-looking lady are perceiving me. Oh dear, oh my. And they were just complimenting me and my outfit. And oh my god, it was so cool. Yeah, it was just a cute little interaction. And so they left. The show started. Yada yada. It was a grand time. Okay? later on, after the show ended and I got home and I was in bed scrolling on my phone, just looking at everyone's Instagram posts about the concert because so many people in LA were posting about their experience, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. I'm seeing so many people say, like, oh, they had this happen, this was so cool, da da da, blah blah blah. And what do you know? I see the two girls on the Instagram, and they took a picture together, and they posted it on Instagram, and they were like, oh, Hades was so fun. And I was like, oh, whoa, those were the girls I saw. Cool. And so I pressed both of their profiles because, again, I really adored their fashion sense, right? And then I look at their profiles, right? Dude, one of the girls was the stylist for some of the biggest names in music industry, like Shakira, Sabrina Carpenter, Melanie. She's the stylist for so many big names in the music industry. Alrighty, it was I could not believe I didn't know who she was, and I was like, oh goodness, dear me, holy crap! Wow, I did not know that. So I followed her because I was like, wow, that is so heckin' cool. And you know, I'm on Instagram all the time. So days later, on her Instagram story, this one girl, she posts that she got a tattoo, right? On her story. And I'm like, whoa, that tattoo is so cool. Dude, everything at this point is so fucking cool about her. Jesus Christ. Do you fucking blame me? I'm just so in awe by her. And the tattoo was so epic. And I've been meaning to get a tattoo, right? For the longest time, ever since I moved here to LA. I've been trying to. And I was like, oh, let me go check out that tattoo artist. You know, that'd be kind of cool. Get a tattoo from the girl who tattooed the girl who's a stylist for all these cool musicians and stuff. Let me help a girl out, you know? So now I'm looking at the tattoo artist's Instagram, right? I'm peeping, I'm looking, and I see on one of the posts my favorite singer of all time. My Kamioshi, if you will. Okay, guys? She is my Kamioshi. And if you know anything about that word, Swarm, I know you know what your Kamioshi is. Come on now, toot toot. I saw Melanie. And then I was like, oh my goodness. There's just no way this girl is also intertwined in the music industry and with Melanie. And oh my god, she does Melanie's tattoos. That's so cool. And so I followed her, right? And to be honest, I had no idea that she just does tattoos for everybody. And I'm just like following her because I thought she was cool as well, okay? One day on her Instagram story, she said, hey, guys, I have availability next week if anyone in LA would like to come get a tattoo. And so I was like, OMG, what are the odds? I was just gonna book with someone random. I didn't know she just takes anybody. Oh dear, oh my. And I messaged her, and she said, hi, hello. And I was like, hi, I've never gotten a tattoo before, and I've really wanted to for quite some time now. And what an honor to get one from you. And she's like, oh my god, this is your first tattoo? I would love to do that. Are you kidding me? And the 3 tattoos I showed her, she was obsessed with. She was incredibly excited because one of them was a mermaid, and she really has a thing for mermaids. In fact, she has like 2 or 3 tattoos of mermaids. So we bonded over that, and it was just quite cool. So yeah, handshake. We booked an appointment over the phone on Instagram. And what do you know? I'm going to LA to go get my tattoo from this incredibly talented lady, which I was so excited to meet. Oh my god, okay? You know, driving to LA, or that specific part of LA. And, you know, she wasn't there yet. She was just opening up because it was super early. I messaged on the phone. I was like, hey, I got here a little early. Is it all right if I come in to pee? And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm 7 minutes away. I'll be there very soon. if you want to wait for me, just go right ahead and I'll be there very quickly. And I was like, okay, no problem. I'll wait to use the bathroom. Okay? She messages me that she's entered her building. Okay? So, she tells me, come on inside. I just got here. I'm just going to set up really quick and, I'm ready for you. And I was like, okay. So I exited my car and walked to her little building thing. Okay? This is the budget increase. A little bit. Okay? Okay. Ah! Okay, look. So I enter her building. She has a downstairs and an upstairs, okay? She has the lounge. And she has her little kitchen area, okay? And this is to go downstairs. I walk in, the door goes ding! And she goes, hello, come on in, come on, we're downstairs. And I'm like, we're downstairs. What? Anyways, I start making my way downstairs. Walking downstairs, okay? These are the stairs, this is my foot, okay? Let me make it a tad bigger, okay? Here is the tattoo lady, which I'm not gonna share her name. She's so thrilled. She's like, hello, oh my god, nice to meet you, hello. Come on in, I'm so excited. And I'm walking downstairs. I see two other girls. Walk in, see two girls. And I see one girl with dark hair, with pink ombre. Is that the word? I don't know. Heck, I don't know. And a bandana on. And as someone who very much knows this type of style, it's quite familiar to me. I'm like, I wonder who this may be. I wonder. Just thinking, just thunkulating, okay? I come downstairs. She hugs me. She hugs me immediately, the tattoo lady. She's so sweet. I love when people are huggers. I didn't even reach out. She reached out to hug me. It was so sweet. And I'm over here just thinking to myself, like, first of all, I'm thinking many things. I'm thinking, one of all, there's so many beautiful women in this room right now, I can't even handle it. Second of all, who is that girl over there? And three, oh my god, she's hugging me and she's so happy to see me. That makes me really happy. Hi. Oh my gosh, so nice to meet you, Camila. Just thought I'd introduce you to my friends. And I'm like, ugh. They turn around. Camila? This is... And this is Melanie. You're who? Guys, let me say this one more time to you. Let me say it one more fucking time to you. Do you know what a Oshi is? Do you know what a Kamioshi is? She has been... I've been a very big fan since the age of 16. Do you understand what I must have felt within this moment? Okay? I need you to pretend it's your favorite artist of all time. Or favorite streamer, favorite artist, favorite actor that you love so much. She waves at me and she's like, hello, nice to meet you. And so did her friend. They were both so very nice and welcoming. And it was just so sweet. Oh my god. And I'm just there like, Guys, when I preface to you a million bajillion times over, out of every reality, out of every universe, I was not expecting to see Melanie today at all. I was just ready to come get a tattoo and flaunt it to people like, look how cool, my first tattoo. What a lovely day. Holy. Did not expect in the slightest.
Zero.
And, you know, I'm just being very nonchalant. Hi, nice to meet you guys. Yeah, hello. Sorry, I'm quite anxious today. It's my first time. Hey, tattoo lady, where's your bathroom? Just wondering. Oh, it's back over there. It's back over there. Okay. Oh my god. I'm in the same room as Melanie Martinez. Oh my god. Oh, I have to stay calm. Oh, I can't freak out. I just have to be normal and just have a good time today. It's okay. Maybe I'll tell her by the end of it that I'm a fan, but I don't know. I'm just gonna play it cool and just yeah. Okay, I come out of the bathroom. I'm all eased up. I'm calm. I'm collected. I bring in my streaming etiquette, you know, my etiquette of just respecting other very famous people around you, you know. She goes and sits down at a table right next to us. Mind you, we're in a very small, intimate, comfy room. Me, the tattoo lady, Melanie, her friend, and some other person who was also incredibly nice. Okay? So just 4 people in total, okay? Melanie's here. She whips out her iPad and starts doodling on Procreate, which is an app that I use, by the way. I use that app all the time when I used to draw. We have the same application, might I add. Anyways, so she's just sitting there doodling, and so me and Tattoo Lady were here. You know, she's laying out the tattoos that I chose, and we're trying to decide what's the best size we should go with, okay? We're here discussing yada yada yada. And we're like, I wonder what size would be the best. Melanie gets up, walks over. Can I go back? Can I rewind? I did not expect her to interact with me at all or much because, you know, I know that she's a very big intro. So as I was saying, right? I did not expect her to interact much. She's here. She's doodling on her iPad, and I know Melanie's an introvert, so I just didn't expect her. I thought she was just gonna keep to herself, which fully understandable. You know, her life is quite hectic. I don't blame her for just relaxing if she wanted to, you know. And so she walks over and she's like, "Oh wow, these are so cool. Oh my gosh, these are like so totally up my alley, dude. These are awesome. Oh my gosh, these are so sick." And I'm just like, she's right next to me. She's right there, and I'm like, and she's like, I think you should honestly do the big one and the medium one, but like in between, somewhere in between. I think because you can still see the detail this way, and then it's not that big. The way I folded, the way I was like, yep, I agree. I think that's a great idea. Yep, whatever she said, I think that's so awesome. I think that was the best decision ever made in this entire planet, actually. We end up going through with that tattoo. So, Tattoo Lady is like, so, I don't mind me. I was peeping your Instagram, you know, when we were talking and stuff, and I saw that you recently moved to California. You moved to LA? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, with who? And I'm like, oh, with nobody. And she's like, eh? How old are you? And I'm like, oh, And then she was like, what? How on earth did you move to California all by yourself, not sharing the payments with anybody at that age? That's crazy. And I'm like, you know, I've just been really lucky with my job. It's just been really good for me, my job. And she's like, what do you do, if you don't mind me asking? And I was like, so typically on a day-to-day basis, if anyone else were to ask, I usually typically say non-disclosure agreement. I can't even speak. NDA, I just say NDA because I don't like people to know or find out because of stalker issues, of course. And I was like, I'm just a streamer. I folded. I did fold. I did tell her what I do. I'm specifically a VTuber. Oh, Batman had beat that information out of me because you don't know how badly I didn't want to say VTuber because VTubers are so heavily hated amongst the general public because we're just characters. We're not real people showing our faces, right? And so I was like, oh, I'm a VTuber. You know what that is? And she's like, no, I don't think I quite heard of it before. And I was like, oh, here, I'll show you what a VTuber is. And so she like leans over the bed and she's looking at my phone and she sees me moving with my character and she was so impressed by it. She was like, whoa. She's Australian, by the way. She's like, what? You're like a moving art piece? That's so cool. What? I wish I could do that. That's awesome. And that's your character? And I was like, yeah, she's a little circus gal. And she's like, oh my gosh, that is so adorable. Love the colors. Love it. That is so... Technology is extraordinary lately. And I'm like, yeah, it really is. And then she was like, hey, Mel, you should come check this out. Like, you would love this. And I was like, So Melanie comes over again and then she looks at my phone and she sees my VTuber and her face lit up so brightly and she had a big smile. She was like, wow, this is you? And I'm like, yeah, it's just like a webcam and it just tracks me. And she's like, oh, dude, I've never seen anything like that either. That's really cool. And oh, the circus stuff. Oh, I really like circus stuff. It's like so totally like my thing. And I'm like, The tattoo lady was like, is there any specific reason as to why you chose a circus character? Like, why you chose that theme? And I'm like, oh, yeah, there is. Yeah, I'm so proud of this story. I love my parents. So I was telling the tattoo lady, and Melanie went back to doodling. I was telling my tattoo lady how of the story of how my parents met. If you remember, chat, my parents used to work in the Ringling Brothers, the circus show, and my mom was like the super cute merch selling lady, and my dad was the really smart technician man who did all the lights, sound, da 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 da. And so you know how when a circus show is done, you know, they pack everything and they all go on a tour bus together to the next state? My mom and dad would sit next to each other. And he thought she was really cute and they sat next to each other and they used to talk a lot and they fell in love. And that's how they had me. And she was like, oh, that's so cute. And Melanie like stops everything that she's doing and she goes, that has to be probably one of the cutest fucking love stories I've ever heard. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you. Thank you. And then they were saying like, oh yeah, like the circus theme is perfect then regarding your parents, and honestly your voice is so cute and it suits your character so well. We love your raspiness. And I'm like, oh, it's typically not this raspy. And they're like, oh, really? Like, do you smoke? And I was like, no, I don't quite smoke. I just had a really rough week and yeah, that's all. And I did not want to share it. But the tattoo lady was like, no, what happened? What's going on, love? And I'm like, oh, I suppose, you know, I've lost, I've just been crying a lot because I lost a lot of family in the Middle East because of what's been going on. You know, they dropped 160 bombs in the most highly populated area of Lebanon. And, lots of people died that day, including my family. And... yeah, it was just really, I really did not want to share it, but they were wondering, and I just, yeah. And they both looked so heartbroken, and the girl in the back as well, and I'm just there trying to not cry, and I didn't cry. I held it together quite well. And she was like, "Oh my god, no, I'm so sorry." She puts all her stuff down and she runs around and hugs me very tight. Melanie also runs up from her chair and stands behind me, and I didn't notice that she ran because I was just closing my eyes in the hug and enjoying it. And she squeezed me tight and she's like, "I'm so sorry, that must be so horrible. I can't believe it that you just don't hear that every day." And it's like, oh my god. And she was sympathizing so much. And then, she let go of me. And as soon as she let go of me, Melanie like ran and like grabbed me so tight. Oh my god. You really don't know how bad I needed this hug. You don't know. I've never hugged my favorite artist before. And in this moment, I was just thinking to myself, I thought, like, it's so crazy how the universe works, because it really knew that I needed this. Again, there's been so much that has happened to me. Like the stalker incident, trying to break in, my mom almost dying, as we talked about previously, my mom almost dying multiple times in the hospital, and then this in the Middle East. Like, I've just been through so fucking much, and I swear this moment did not feel real to me. I kind of just sat there, unable to move or react, and she hugged me for a while, and I just sat there and enjoyed every second of it, because I felt like this was the universe giving me something for what I had to go through. And so I just I did not cry. I just teared up. I teared up really heavy, but I didn't cry. I still tried to keep it together because I didn't want to embarrass myself in front of them. But it was just so cool. Dude, what do you mean? What do you mean? I just simply run into my favorite artist just out of nowhere on a whim because she decided to get a tattoo that day too. It was just so cool. Oh my god, I'm sorry. That's why my voice is gone again, because I cried so hard by the end of it after I finally left. But yeah, it was just so nice to be held. And then I love her to death. She goes back to her chair and she goes on Melanie is very outspoken and very just, she cares a lot for people, and she's very, very I don't know how to explain. There's not words to explain how compassionate this woman is. She went on for about 10 minutes about how horrible the war is, and it doesn't matter what went on back in the past between people. Like, it's just so horrible that innocent people are having to deal with this and having to be hurt because of whatever may have happened back then in the past. It's not fair. My brain just, she was saying, my brain just simply cannot understand why these people think this is okay. Like, we wouldn't wish anything to them the same way, so why does it happen to us? What did, like, and she was so unbelievably eloquent with her speaking, and it was just exactly what I needed to hear. Like, I'm telling you, she looked so distraught, and she was just talking to me for so long about it. And yeah, it was just such a really intimate, in-depth conversation about what goes on, and it was just and just to hear it from her, face to face, like face to face. Again, I'm still not believing this is real. I just felt like I was dreaming. Oh, wow, it's just crazy. And boom, I'm on the bed to get my tattoo. I'm fucking freaking out. I'm freaking out. Yeah. Of course, by the end of the conversation, I was like, thank you so much for talking to me, guys. You really did not have to, and I really didn't mean to make it like that. And they were like, no, what the fuck? This is real problems that people really need to talk about. It's important to talk about this kind of stuff. And I was like, well, thank you for validating me and this conversation. And yeah, we were about time to start getting tattooed and junk, and I laid down, and she's like, you ready? And I'm like, yeah. At this point, I don't even remember what's going on. I'm just scared as fuck to get this tattoo. Cause I've always been told that it's really painful and junk, and I'm just like, oh jeez, I'm about to fucking make a fool of myself and scream in front of them. You didn't tell her that you're her fan. I'll get to that. I did not tell her, but I'll get to that. So yeah, I'm getting my tattoo, my first ever tattoo, which was the mermaid, by the way. I really wanted to do the mermaid. I hope you don't mind. It was the one I was most excited about. And the tattoo lady did insist we should not start with the finger first, because it is the most painful out of the 3 that I got. She said, I really don't want to do that to you. Let's please start it simple in an area that doesn't hurt the most. And I was like, okay, yeah, you're right. So I got a mermaid tattoo, and it's really pretty, and I could show you. Okay, this is the tattoo. This is that tattoo. It's a mermaid with a harp, and she's very pretty. And I got it on my forearm. Yeah. Do you like it? Do you like it? I've always been obsessed with mermaids since I was a little girl. I've always had like so many mermaid dolls and stuff, so I just wanted to get a mermaid. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. Yeah. And at this point, we just start talking. We just start talking about a bunch of stuff, and we're just saying this, that. Oh, this is the point where they want to ask more about my career, right? And so, the tattoo lady was like, so what are the ups and downs of your career? Like, what are your favorite parts and what are your worst parts about it? Oh man, I went for about 10 minutes explaining how much I love my job and how much I love my community and how they're the reason why I always want to continue and why it's so much fun and why it's so easy. And it's just really just, I'm so lucky and so thankful to have this position. And they're like, that's awesome. And what about the bad parts? And I'm like, oh, well, there's not really necessarily any bad parts. I guess people are very judgmental on the internet, but I guess that goes for everybody. Like, people are just judgmental over everything. It's just not, it's not reserved only for streamers. Like, everyone has haters, you know, and it does suck, but you just have to remember that these people do this for their living, and you have to quite remember that your life is infinitely much better because you're just living life happily, and not to really let these people get to you. And they're like, yeah, that's absolutely right. Same thing goes for us too. And I'm like, yep, exactly. And also too, there's a stalker problem. That was crazy. Some guy like showed up to my house with like a freaking sledgehammer, and he was trying to break in. That was probably the worst part of my career, actually, because you know, you talk to these people a lot, and sometimes they might feel like they're forming an intimate relationship with you. Come on. And so some of them take it a bit too far, and one showed up to my house, and yeah, they tried to get to me. And Melanie was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. If anything, like, I completely understand what stalkers are like. You know, I've had so many of them, and oh my god, there was this one guy who was, oh god, he was horrible. I've also had a guy show up to my house too. He was like a 30-year-old man, and he like this was my old house at the time before I moved, and he was showing up at my door, banging on my door, saying, "Where's Crybaby? Where's Crybaby?" And if you don't know who's Crybaby, basically, Melanie, when she releases music, she likes to release music and characters, and Crybaby was one of them. And so this guy was like hella immersed in that character, and he was like screaming like, "Where's Crybaby? Is she in there? Is she in there?" And so thankfully she wasn't home at the time, but yeah, she was expressing how uncomfortable it made her. And yeah, and now she's like, she had to leave her own home, and I told her, me too. I also had to, like, me and my family had to leave our house because of it, because we feel as if our address has been compromised. And she's like, yeah, me too. And so pretty unfortunate that we bonded over that. But she was like, oh, you know what she said too? This made me laugh. She was like, dude, yeah, and you said you were on Twitch? Dude, you probably have it the worst. Isn't that where all the incels are? Yeah. Isn't that where all the nasty incels are? And I was like, yeah. Oh my god, God. I can't believe she said that. It was so funny to me because it's so true. Oh, and yeah, so we just had like, oh my god, we had such a long conversation about just all things, everythings, and we started. I asked a crazy question. I was like, ladies, what's the worst thing a man has ever done in your life? And they both went, ugh. They both had such a loud, like, ugh. And then, oh my god, the shit that they were both telling me. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Of course, I will not share because that is their own personal business. Absolutely not. So do not ask me. But the tattoo lady goes and tells me everything that she went through with a guy, and then just back and forth, back and forth. I'm like, oh my god. I'm looking at both of them, and they're telling me their crazy stories. And yeah, we're just bonding over that. And yeah, we somehow got on the topic of fragrances because she really likes fragrances, Melanie. And one of the people in the room was like, "Hey Mel, what fragrances do you have again?" And she was like telling us like, "Oh, I have so many. I have this one and I have this one, and I also had like the Crybaby perfume, which is like a bottle, like a baby bottle, and that one was like one of the first ones I did." And I'm sitting here sweating because she doesn't know that I spent $2,000 fucking dollars on a resale of me sitting there like I don't know what she's talking about. Like she's talking about all her albums like Portals and Crybaby, and I'm like, oh wow. I didn't pretend like I didn't know. I simply just didn't respond, if that makes sense. Because if I'm gonna sit there and pretend like I don't like, or like be like, for example, like, "Oh, what's that?" No, that's just fucking stupid. I more so just kind of just listened and just acted cool and didn't lose my fucking cool over anything. Oh, and it was just really cute because every time we had a conversation, she wanted to stand up and get close to me because it was quite hard to see her from back there, so she wanted to be face to face with me instead, so I'm not like struggling to like have a conversation. So it's just crazy. Like she's just standing right there, like inches away from me as I'm getting a tattoo, laying down, and I'm just, oh man, I'm just admiring her beauty, dude. I can't begin to tell you. Like, I can literally show you all what she looked like. Hold on. This is like the closest representation of what she looked this day. Her t-shirt was different, but I'm sure she had the same dress skirt, and her hair was worn the same way. But this is literally what she looked like this day. She's so beautiful. And that was the same bandana she had on her head too. Oh god, oh my god. I just don't understand how I got so fucking lucky. I really don't. And you know, after it was all done and I finally got all 3 tattoos, I started heading back to the stairs. I started heading back to the stairs, and I was like, thank you guys so much, by the way, for talking to me. I already had said bye to the tattoo girl. And so as I was at the stairs, that's where they were mostly sitting, I told her and her friend, thank you so much. It was honestly such a fun time talking to you all. What a wonderful first tattoo experience, seriously. And she gets up, and I did not expect her to hug me again. I just thought she would be like, bye girl, but no, she got up and she hugged me and she was like, oh my god, are you joking? And she gets up and she hugs me and she was like, I'm so glad that you had such a great time, and I hope you enjoy your tattoos, and you're probably going to be obsessed the same way I am with getting tattoos. Like, you're gonna keep coming back and it's gonna be so much fun. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Well, thank you. And her friend also ran up and hugged me too. She was so sweet too. I wish I had more about what to say about her, but she was so far away and it was quite hard to hear her sometimes, but she was also very kind. And yeah, she came and hugged me as well. They all were so kind. Just a room full of really kind people. And even if Melanie wasn't there, like, the vibes of this establishment were so sweet. She was playing such calming music and she just kept engaging in conversation with me, and it was just so cool. It was so cool. And so after she hugged me, I went to my car and I disassociated. I disassociated for like 30 minutes, and I just stared into nothingness, and I was just sitting there and constantly asking myself if that just happened. Did that really just happen? I spent 2 whole hours in a room with my favorite artist in the whole wide world, and she talked to me so much, and it was just I started crying because I realized it was real. And yeah, I held it in the whole time, and finally when I got to my car, I couldn't hold it anymore. It healed me. It really did heal me. It healed every ounce of sadness I potentially had left in my body after everything I've been through and gone through and seen and felt, and it really did feel like a dream come true. It's a story of how I met Melanie Martinez. Just on a whim. Just on a whim. Do you see how things happen in life? Do you see how weird and just insane things can be?
Okay, but you totally sniffed her when
I did not sniff her. Dude, I would hold my breath every time she hugged me. You'd think that somebody would, right? It's not weird. You want to know what your favorite singer smells like, but like, I genuinely held my breath every time she did. Like, I'd be like, because I just didn't know what to do or how to react to it. So I just didn't think about sniffing. That's so odd. Oh my god. You didn't show her your covers? Hell no.
So you didn't show her your covers of Evil or Pity?
No, I didn't want her to know I was a fan. And quite honestly, I think she might find out somehow after I shared this story, but I told Zen this too before I talked about it on stream, and she was like, you might have another guest for your tea party. And I'm like, no, there's no way. I simply just can't imagine the idea of that. Oh my gosh. Guys, can I tell you why I didn't tell her I was a fan? Because The way I met this tattoo artist was completely just out of pure randomness. I don't like. I found these two girls in the front row of the Hades listening party. They were so nice to me, and we were talking about how cute one another was. Saw them on Instagram, followed them on Instagram. One of them showed that they got a tattoo, which what I've been meaning to get. Followed her tattoo artist since I wanted to get a tattoo. Realized she's the tattoo artist of Melanie. Made an appointment because she opened up her appointment and showed up not thinking that I would even fucking see her. And so I just didn't want them to think that I'm like, from my perspective, from my very own perspective, if I had went to a place that I typically go to and a fan had showed up, then I would think, oh, what lengths did they go through in order to find me? Does that make sense? Like, what lengths and what creepy ways did they go in order to know that I come here? You know? So I just didn't want her to think that. I didn't want any of them to... Because it really was just pure luck. It was pure luck. And so, yeah. And I don't know, if there's another time where I meet her again, and there's an off chance where she does recognize me, I will tell her that I was a fan. And I just didn't want to ruin the vibes because... Yeah, I feel like if I had told her to, I don't know, I feel like she would have been a bit more, like, preserved with what she was telling me and stuff. I feel like she was able to unwind and get really comfortable, so I'm really happy that she had a lot of fun, too. We were all laughing really hard and giggling and just talking about a whole bunch of stuff and just conversating, and, like, I didn't want the vibes to be different if she knew that I was a fan of her, so I just... Yeah.